All right, y'all. This one right here is about toxic, narcissistic people. People that are narcissists. Like toxic and narcissists kind of go hand in hand. Like they cousins of each other. Um, a toxic person, the definition of it is somebody that always go towards negativity. Somebody that always have negative thoughts and feelings that like to put them on display, that like to put them on other people. It's okay to walk around toxic and feel a certain type of way and have a bad attitude and see things wrong way and just take everything wrong, but just keep it to yourself. It's some toxic people who don't really talk that much. You know what I'm saying? It's some toxic people that know they toxic. Like Kevin Gates said, it's toxic over here, but you're gonna love it. See, I can respect a toxic person that know they toxic, because for you to ever even start to work on your toxicness, you have to know that you're toxic. There are some people that I know right now to this day that don't know they toxic and will never know. They just realize they don't have any friends or nobody hanging around them, and they think it's normal. No, people just don't fuck with you, because toxic people like to provoke negative emotion. You know, if you come around smiling, laughing, and a good day, yawning, just feeling good about yourself, looking in the mirror, they don't like that. That kind of behavior naturally makes them be like, what can I say? What can I do to skewer his thought process? Like, how can I like bring a bright, like, they don't like to see like people happy, or like, you know, they want to control the atmosphere with negative energy. You know, he was talking about you. You know, what was that you said? Like, remember last time we was together, you said, hey, but what you call them? I wouldn't let them talk to me like that. Like, you know, just always stemming towards the negativity, and you can't tell them nothing. A real toxic person, you can't tell them they toxic. They don't believe it. They feel like that's where the narcissism comes in. A narcissist is somebody like a sociopath. A narcissist is somebody that wants to, the same as toxic, change the mood and then make they self believe it and make you believe it. Like, narcissist people really believe in their head what they believe, and they gonna make you believe it too. Some people are good at it. Some narcissists real good at making you think that whatever they thinking is how you should think. Like, you know, it's like a narcissist person, the first thing a narcissist person gonna tell you is that you're a narcissist person. The first thing a narcissist person gonna do is when you complain about them, they're gonna complain back to you. That's why some toxic narcissistic people, it's no really saving them. You can't talk a person out of being toxic or being narcissistic. They have to see the results of them being toxic and narcissistic. They have to like accidentally overhear somebody. Well, you know, Josh, he always be doing, you know. They have to unknowingly hear somebody talk about. They have to hear somebody talk about them without them kind of knowing. They have to look up and realize they're not invited to stuff. They have to look up and realize they threw a party and nobody came. Like, they don't. You can't tell a narcissistic toxic person that they're toxic. It's impossible. Like, they're going to take that and run with that and give them even more of a reason to feel even worse about the toxic. You know, it's just. That's what I'm saying. The narcissistic part is the part that makes them believe they need to be toxic. Like, if you notice toxic people, they always be like, I say what I want, I do what I want, I ain't got no filter, I can do this, I can do that. But then on the flip side, if you pull a them on them, they be hurt, devastated, and oh man, I can't, how dare you, man, I can't, I'm not gonna talk to you, I'm my whole mood is shit. Like, toxic narcissistic people are the most sensitive people. So you can't really tell them. You can't get through to them. Like, you can't display to them what's going on. They gonna think you tripping on them. They gonna think you overreacting. Like, think about it. Like, a toxic person will do something like come to you and present something to you. And then when you go to explain yourself and talking about it, they might look at it like, whoa, hold on, wait, now you making a big deal out of this. You came to me with it. Like, I'm just explaining, you know, it's a bunch of mind stuff, you know, like. And then it's like you got toxic people and you got toxic behavior. You got narcissistic people and then you got narcissistic behavior. Some people just have little small spots where they narcissistic, or little small spots where they toxic. That's the behavior part. Like, most people that have toxic behavior, the difference between somebody with toxic behavior and a toxic person is a person with toxic behavior is able to see their behavior and be like, I'm tripping. I shouldn't even be thinking like that. I'm tripping. A toxic person that's truly toxic thinks that they have the right. I have the right to create a narrative negative. I have the right to create a negative narrative that we need to talk about. That could lead us to fighting, arguing, distance, like, but I have the right to bring this up. That's where the narcissistic part comes. A narcissist, like the narcissist part is the part where they make themselves believe that this should be happening. Like, it's like a narcissistic toxic person can like create a narrative that's not even true. And then when you even prove it's not true, it's like, okay, well, we still might as well go through the motions of being upset because I'm toxic and I need to get this toxic. Like, toxic people need to get the toxic energy off. I need to get this off. So even though what I'm saying is, I kind of had the idea, and deep down inside, I think toxic people really be knowing that that is bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But for the sake of getting that toxic, you know, nostrils flaring, mad, upset, feeling misunderstood, feeling like they want to go through all that. Like people that got a lot of chaos built inside of them, they got to display it. They like people function well with chaos. Like, I used to have homeboys where it's like, you know, we go to a party, everything's fine. Hey, we got to fight some people on the way out of here. Why? Because I feel like we deep. I feel like we have the right to pick on people, or I think somebody said something to me, but we're going to fight. Like, we can't just come here and blend in with everybody else and leave. We have to be the ones fighting. In my mind, that's what I believe. That's a toxic person. Sprinkling a toxicness on other people. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, man, and it's sad, man. I got certain people, certain friends that I don't even fuck with no more because, you know, they just refuse to believe and see it. And there's nothing wrong, like it's got to be kind of hard-headed. Like, there's nothing wrong with peeping that within yourself and changing that. I knew that about myself. I used to be kind of narcissistic. I used to be kind of toxic. I even have toxic behavior from time to time. But it's like, one thing I could say in their defense, not in their defense, but like, toxic people are people that's been hurt a lot. They just been through a lot. They've been judged a lot, hurt a lot. So the pain from that and the chaos from that makes them feel like they don't want peace. Like, peace is not really what they up on. Like you can't talk them in peace. What you mean? Like nothing's wrong. We can just have a regular day. We can claim a good day. You don't have to go do research to find something to get into it about. You don't have to believe in a dark theory that makes you feel like somebody gonna come kill you out of nowhere. You don't have to go look at comments and likes and on other people's like, you don't have to go look into shit to find shit to be mad at. And then if you do, just keep it to yourself. You don't have to display it on, like I say, there's some toxic narcissistic people that just keep it to themselves. They just be mad in a bad mood all the time. And then there's some that's like, man, I gotta call somebody. Hey man, you know Woody was talking about you, or you know last week when you got out the car, your left foot hit the and was you trying to kick me? You somewhere thinking, what the fuck? What are you calling me about? Like, you can't really understand a toxic narcissistic person. You just gotta love them and try to coach them out of it. If they love you enough, if you love them enough, you could talk them out of it. You could show them their behavior. Some of them even admit to that. Well, I do be kind of tripping, you know. But on the flip side, some toxic people, you need to get away from them as fast as possible. Some narcissistic people, you need to get away from as fast as possible because some of them are like a Chinese finger trap. You're only going to get into more and more. You ever argue with somebody and they started it, but then you midway in, you the bad guy, and it's like I should have never even got into this. But if I would have ignored it, then you would have used it as me ignoring you. So I try to jump into it with some logic, but the logic is not really feasible because you're a narcissist, so you have to tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself for you to create this toxic narrative out of nowhere. See, toxic people, they believe they have the right. Man, you know what? I was just sitting here. You was over there, but I have the right to call you and draw you into some shit. Like I'm being real. I got no filter. I have the right to do this. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can just be cool. That's why you find a lot of people that, like, I notice narcissism and I notice toxicness. That's why I stay away from a lot of people, because I could peep it. I know how to get around. Oh man, this nigga just tripping, man. You know, people like me either gonna have a lot of friends that believe in having good energy and moving on with positiveness, or they gonna be somewhere like, man, everybody toxic, everybody on bullshit. Let me just stay to myself. I have certain days where I'm like that. I have some days where I want to galvanize the troops, and then I have some days where I'm like, man, everybody on some bullshit. And the thing about it is, once you know, you know. You ain't got to be everywhere proving it to the people. You ain't got to be everywhere like, hey, I'm smart. I know this. I can heal people. Because more than likely, it's not gonna go over like that. You got to know what you know, and know you're not a toxic person, and know you're not a narcissistic person, and you got to be willing to just sit back and be alone about it. You got to be willing to just be like, hey, I can't really help nobody or change nobody, so I'm just gonna stay out the way and keep my energy positive. Sometimes that's all you can really do.